I want to talk about four types of wisdom. This is in Buddhist way. I don't remember where I picked up, but it's fairly famous. But I haven't seen much discussion going on the internet, so I want to talk about it. There are four of them. Let's start with this one. Myo Kansatsuchi. Myo is wondrous or amazing. Kansatsu is witness. Chi is wisdom. So finding the situation wonderful, interesting, profound, whatever. So that such is observation one can have. I was just walking out and listened to the music or the singing of a thrasher, and I wish I could have recorded, but I like the bird, and he's singing in this tree on his own, all sorts of melodies. And I was watching for a while, and he kept on singing, and I connected with her. So I would call that one example of the Myo Kansatsuchi, observation of the Myo, amazement. I also think my existence here, still alive, you know, talking like this or thinking, um, that itself is a miracle of the miracles. I'm existing here, and I can think and talk and feel somebody may listen, and whatever interaction takes place, there's amazement. Dust of the universe, I was born. Whatever the combination I gained, whatever the encounter of my parents and grandparents and all the other hundreds of generations of the encounter of unknown repetition, I was born and I'm here. Why can it not be amazing? Why cannot be miraculous? So that's one. The other one I was thinking a while ago, and I think I posted this Shimpu Toto title. This is about the spring wind and the feeling, the sense of drifting in the air, melting into the nature was the one I was referring to, that sensation. So this wisdom called Byodo Shochi. Byodo is equality, Sho is characteristics, and Chi is wisdom. So it's the sense of everything has the same quality, equality inside. It may be manifested in a different form, but the law behind it, the nature, the reality, whatever it's functioning to make that happen, to create those wondrous, miraculous situations, there's some fundamental equal characteristics we have, all being. Not just living being, but even the stones, possibly, because part of my atoms may have been stone one time. And when I die and my particles may turn out to be, floating in the water or be a part of the stone. So there's the equality of all the manifestation that we came from somewhere. And that's the second wisdom, the wisdom of having an equal quality, same quality, oneness. The third one I would pick, okay, maybe pick this one. The third one, Jo Shosachi. Jo is manifest, and Shosa is as it is, and the Chi is wisdom. So it's everything is manifested in some form or the other on its own. The wisdom has such a characteristics from the deep unconscious part of our mind, deepness of consciousness, whatever you call it. And some interesting combination would make us appear as much as we act without thinking, but things get done, following the nature's way. When it happens, you wonder why it happened. You never used your mind and things just happen. Maybe you have trained like in surfing, over and over, then you start to internalize the way you function, and at certain point you master the skill without thinking you can do things. Perhaps you're walking on the street or standing itself is such a form of wisdom that made us to be able to do that. Over generation, and also within one person's life, we can bring out such skills. Maybe the fact that I can talk is one of those wisdom. Maybe with some mistakes here and there, but still possibly I can communicate. So we have that quality of wisdom in our life. We can complain about the suffering, but being able to go over the suffering may be related to such wisdom that we start to see the nature, we start to see the oneness with what's going on, and we start to see all the manifestation follow the principle of life or law of nature. So we are manifesting those wisdom beyond our imagination. The last one is Dai and Kyochi. Dai is large, and is circle. Kyo is for mirror, and the Chi is again wisdom. So it's the wisdom as if you have the mirror. And let me see. The one of the expression I like in koan, if I may bring this out, says the nature of this wisdom, which says something like a movement of branches. You see it on the floor, or the shade of the movement of branches. But the dust on the floor doesn't move. Or it could be seen as your mind is like you're watching the display of TV. You see it, something is moving, but you being there, watching yourself, there's the quality of not moving. So you see the situation as it is clearly. I use the word two universes to explain the mind movement as one universe, and there's a quality of big mind, if you may call that, or something very quiet or vast or still, being able to see how the mind moves. So it's kind of like a mirror, that the things move, but mirror doesn't change, just reflecting as it is. So in the case of mind, the mind may suffer, but you may find there's a quality of you, what I call sometimes big me, me against big me, be contrasted to the bigger universe, watching quietly and understanding what's going on. So it may be also a relationship like a child and parents. Parents with compassion and wisdom watch the kids playing, and the kids may cry, but the parents would give them comfort. So you have that relationship with that compassion or a source of wisdom. You open up a new dimension, new universe of how we live. So that's the last one, Diane Kyochi, Big Mirror. Yeah, I have the YouTube video I talked about the mirror mind. Mind moves, there's a quality. There's a monk who came up with that remind me phrase. It said something like, our mind moves in various fashion. In its movement, there is a mysterious quality. When we see how it moves from one to the next, of our mind. There is this calm and quiet state where there is no pleasure nor sorrow. So if there is no pleasure nor sorrow, it sounds like boring, empty. But I guess that seemed to point that if you have that quality, you see yourself much more clearly because your mind is not caught up in what it does. But there's additional quality, different universe, so to speak, to watch yourself. So you know your mind movement, you start to get into trouble, you start to maybe breathe differently, or pulse changes, or any of the bite feedback you can feel, that make you to be awakened so that, I'm going a little bit too much into my occupied sense of self, or something like that. So there are lots of wisdom, but there are 4 of them that I mentioned. There may be perhaps tens or hundreds or thousands of different variations. And I would say maybe one of them is the wisdom to awaken ourselves. Awakening. And the fact that we live, communicate, share, exchange ideas, and go through life ups and downs and sideways and whichever direction, yet we may be able to communicate and study ourselves, learn how our mind moves and how our wisdom may pop up. And that's when I feel, well, if that doesn't happen, you feel suffering, but if it happens after some awareness or training or have a calm and quiet mind, so that you can make a good judgment to see, I'm going into this troublesome route of using my mind and caught up and hitting myself on the wall instead of accepting everything as it is, to find a unique viewpoint or realize, so that we can learn how to live a life better. So all this discussion is again a talk, idea. Some may call it signpost. And the point is application or practice of it. And my sense is, as I have learned from many of those who has passed me their wisdom, I inherit and I want to pass on to others if there's a way. And I hope this YouTube video may bring something meaningful for you. When I start to study meditation or Zen or Christian belief or others, Sufis and everything else, I thought that's very interesting research, exploration, because the mind is so deep and the world is so wide. But if you can study yourself and find more about yourself and find the wisdom, how it comes out, I think the life, we may appreciate more to our existence and find the meaning in what we do. Thank you.